In this video, I'm going to walk you through governance policies in Bud AI Foundry, what they are, why they matter, and how you can configure and apply them to your agentic AI workflows. Why do we need governance policies in the first place? With traditional LLM applications, we're mostly concerned with how a model interacts with a user. But with agentic AI, things get more complex. An agent may use multiple models, call different tools, access enterprise data, and take multiple actions to complete a workflow. That means there are many more points where we need to enforce rules. And these rules can vary from one organization to another. An off-the-shelf agent or agentic application may not necessarily follow the specific security, compliance, or responsible AI policies that your organization requires. That's where governance policies come in. They allow you to define what an agent is allowed to do, what it should check, and what should happen when a particular condition is detected. Let's see how this works in Bud AI Foundry. Start by logging into your Bud AI Foundry dashboard and navigating to the Guardrails tab. We've covered the different guardrail options available in Bud AI Foundry in a previous video. For this walkthrough, let's go to the Governance Policy tab. Here you can see the governance policies that have already been created. Let's create a new policy. Start by giving the policy a name and adding a description. Next, select a conflict strategy. A governance policy can contain multiple rules, and sometimes two or more rules may apply to the same situation, but have different outcomes. The conflict strategy determines which rule takes precedence in that situation. For example, you can choose strategies such as deny or escalate wins, highest priority wins, allow wins, or most specific wins. Once the conflict strategy is defined, you can start adding policy checks. These checks allow you to define what the agent should monitor for. There are checks covering different types of risks and behaviors, including prompt injection, child safety, toxicity, spam, and many others. After adding a check, you can define when it should be performed. For example, you can run the check before an agent starts working, before or after a model call, or before or after a tool call. You can also configure the sensitivity of the check from lenient to maximum, depending on how strictly you want the policy to be applied. Next, you can define what should happen when a check is triggered. You can choose actions such as allow, redact, notify, escalate, or deny. You can also provide guidance for the agent. For example, if a check is triggered and the request needs to be rejected, you can specify what the agent should communicate to the user. You can also provide additional instructions for how the agent should handle that situation. Optionally, you can add filter conditions to apply the rule only in specific contexts. For example, suppose an agent is analyzing files and you want a particular check to be skipped for a specific type of file or under a specific condition. You can define that context using filter conditions. Governance policies can also be used to control tool access. The process is similar to adding a guardrail check. You can define which tools an agent is allowed to use as part of an agentic workflow. If there are tools that an agent should never be allowed to access, you can create another rule and add those tools to a deny list. Finally, you can assign a priority score to the rule. This becomes important when multiple policies or rules apply to the same situation. Depending on the conflict strategy you selected, the priority can be used to determine which rule takes precedence. Once you've configured the policy, you can create it. The next step is to deploy the policy to an agentic AI project. Click Deploy and select the project where you want to apply the policy. Bud then handles the verification and onboarding process for the guardrail models required by the checks you selected. Once the policy is deployed, those governance rules can be enforced as part of the agentic workflow. To attach a governance policy to a specific agent, go to the Projects tab and select the project where you deployed the policy. Next, go to the Agents tab and select the agent you want to configure. Open Agent Versions and select the version of the agent to which you want to apply the policy. From the Agent Builder page, navigate to the Governance section. Here you can view the governance policies available for the project and attach the policy you want to apply to this agent version. You can also view the governance policies attached to an agent from the Governance tab. This gives you a quick overview of which policies are currently applied to each agent. And that's how you can create, configure, and deploy governance policies in Bud AI Foundry. If you'd like to see these capabilities in action or explore how they can fit into your own AI workflows, reach out to us for a demo.